Acapulco, Mexico. This is Anarchast.
Hey everybody, welcome to Anarchast, your home for anarchy on the internet. I'm here with the president of my favorite country, actually the only country I think is legitimate in the world, Liberland. It's Vit Jedlicka. I've had him on numerous times on Anarchast, and we're at Freedom Fest here in Las Vegas, and he showed up with his entire presidential entourage as usual, and it's good to see you, Vit. How you doing?
It's great to be here, Jeff. Great to be here, always on Freedom Fest and with you on Anarchast, and also on Acapulco, of course. That's a great event.
Yeah. So it's been a while since I had you last on, I think at least 6 months or more. I know you've been doing so much with Liberland, so why don't you well, first of all, for people who don't know what Liberland is, why don't you just give a brief synopsis of it?
Well, Liberland is the freest country on this planet. We are based between Croatia and Serbia, some 10 kilometers from Hungarian borders. So we are in the heart of the socialist Europe, basically. And we are enjoying our time. We occupied a place which was unclaimed by these two countries, Croatia and Serbia, for more than 25 years. It gave us a legal possibility to start a new country, and this is what we are doing. And the great thing is that, until after 2 years since we occupied this place, we still don't have any legal territorial dispute. The place is not claimed by Croatia or Serbia. Serbia stated they don't mind creation of Liberland. Croatia is fighting with us a little bit, yet they don't claim the territory that we have based our country on. So we are having a great time. We're building all the institutions. We're making sure that we have some settlement on the ground, and we are also getting on board more and more people now. Almost 500,000 people have signed up.
Wow, that's great. The last I heard, you were having problems with Croatia. They weren't letting you get through to your own land. So what's the update on that? You say
I was there 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
And since then I'm traveling, and we've got people now on the ground. We've got a couple of people now operating our base, and we're able to host weddings. We're able to host bigger celebrations. I hope to be able to host 120, 150 people in Liberland. And the situation is a bit more relaxed, maybe because of the political chaos that is there now in Croatia. They stopped protecting the Liberland-Serbia borders, which is pretty cool, which is a great upgrade to what we had before. They put enormous energy into protecting Liberland-Serbia border, which was strange, They said, now you cannot go to Liberland because it's Serbia, but we are Croatians. It didn't make much sense, right?
Yeah.
So this is an interesting update.
Yeah. Have you, last time we talked, you were just about to, I think one country was about to recognize Liberland. I believe it was Guatemala. What's the latest on being recognized by some of these other countries?
Well, we're invited to come back in the autumn this year, so we're coming back. We've got a couple more countries on the list that we are working with. We're not that much focused on pushing somebody to recognize Liberland. We're getting our institutions on the to the level that they are recognizable, and that's very important. For example, now we've got a couple of banks that recognize Liberland, which is great because Liberland citizens with Liberland passports can actually open up bank accounts there, and the Liberland companies as well in Singapore now, in Hong Kong, in Liechtenstein. So it's pretty cool development in this way, and also we are working on making Liberland a DAO. We want to make the country as basically a decentralized autonomous organization, and I believe that's the future of the the private cities that we are going to create, and also we will see a switch of the societies into that fashion sooner or later. Just like Bitcoin has completely revolutionized banking, and maybe we will see very little banks in 10, 15 years from now. I hope maybe in 50 years from now, the similar thing will be with countries. You will have lots of jurisdiction that you will be able to choose from, and we are just a start.
Well, that's great. I didn't know that some banks were already accepting Liberland citizens or I guess residents or whatever it would be as customers. That's absolutely fantastic. So you say you're getting some of these institutions sort of set up. What do you mean by that? So
we're trying to. Well, we always said we are building a minarchist state, but we are looking into how to turn that minarchy into a kind of anarchy. We are looking into how to, just take care of security, justice, and diplomacy, just these three things in order to be compatible with the world that we're living in. But the thing is that we want to Uberize police, we want to Uberize justice. We want to be a jurisdiction for anybody that want to use us basically anywhere around the world. I would love to have a couple million e-residents maybe next year when we launch the program, and I think that people will enjoy it because it will be very easy to get an escrow in Liberland jurisdiction. It will be very easy to start a company, to register ship, to register car. I'm actually right now flying to San Francisco to meet with the guys from Propi. They are into registering properties on blockchain in a very sophisticated way, and I enjoy that. We will be the pilot project for them, so that's going to be exciting.
Wow, that is super exciting. It's so interesting to see, a country built from the ground up in today's technological age, and by people who actually understand decentralization and want it to be decentralized, don't want a big power structure and control of everything. So this would be just so amazing as it continues to go forward. What's sort of your impression of will people start to move there at some point? What's it going to be like on the ground?
Well, right now, I think at this stage of development, what we are doing is building a nice base on the water. And if I had a time, I would be going to this FMR Island event that is happening now between Sacramento and San Francisco. There is a bunch of 150 guys living on the river for a couple of days. But this is what is going to be happening in Liberland for quite some time until the situation on the ground is settled. But maybe we will start rebuilding the building that we've got in Liberland if the situation will continue to be as relaxed as it is now. And you know that people like Roger Ware have actually put up serious money for the first infrastructure and first buildings in Liberland. It's pretty cool. Roger put up $10 million for that event. So I'm waiting for it, but I don't want to make it too fast. I want to make sure that we reach some agreement with Croatia, that we will not have any troubles with them in the future. And let's pray that there will be finally some stable government in Croatia that we could talk to, because so far we have seen 5 governments since Liberland started 2 years ago in Croatia. And it was very hard to get to talk to anybody.
Wow, it sounds like it's anarchy there. It's just constant changing of governments. But that's interesting that's your biggest problem, is they're so unstable that you can't deal with that country. So typical, so funny. So when you first started, you had a lot of people apply to become citizen. I think it was 500,000 people or something.
We've got that, and it's still growing. It's literally every 3-5 minutes we still have somebody applying for citizenship. It's pretty cool. They come from all around the world. Seriously, we've got people from all countries and territories that are on the planet. I don't know if the ambassador from Vatican is legit. Probably not. That's the only place where probably we don't have anybody. But for example, in Monaco, we have got 50 people, that fancy Liberland and want to support it. And I can tell you, it's a great group of people. We are able to open up representative office anywhere around the world. We already are better represented than a typical European country. We've got some 85 representative offices across the globe. I'm very happy that you're helping us also on a diplomatic layer. So it's a great group of people that we are having on board.
Wow, that's amazing. So a lot of people out there will be very excited to hear about how this is all going, and it's going so well. But what can they really be doing at this moment in time? How can they be supporting this? Should they be applying for citizenship right now? You mentioned Roger Ver invested in it. Is there ways that people can invest? How can people get involved?
Of course, it's easy to apply for citizenship. It takes a couple of minutes. You get on our email list, and you will get the news what is happening. It's great to get married in Liberland. That's another attraction these days. You can start your company with just going to liberland.ltd and launch your business from Liberland, and we will advise you if you need the banking. Of course, we are crypto friendly, but if you need the banking, we'll advise you how to do that, how to get credit card with Liberland company. And of course, anything that you can think of that you can support us is great. We've got now a chess team that beat 2 other countries called the Ivor. For example, they beat them 7-1. We've got a soccer team. We've got. We actually were able to attract the whole ice hockey table team from Czech Republic. So we've got the national ice hockey of Czech Republic moving into Liberland because they got pissed at the National Sports Federation. We've got pretty amazing things happening right now, and all it's about, what kind of country do you want to represent as a sportsman, as a businessman, and this is all about reputation, and we're growing in that respect.
Well, that's great. If you get a ice hockey team going, let me know. I'm from Canada originally. But that's very interesting that you can start a company in Liberland already, and you can already get banking set up for it. That's incredibly interesting to me. I did not even know about that. So that is absolutely massive. So tell us a little bit more about that. How do you get that set up, and what's involved?
If you go to Liberland Ltd, liberland.ltd, okay. Or you've got company.register.ll.land, which is a little longer version on our national domain, then you can go there, fill in the list of the things that we require, and you get basically a eResidency program with Liberland right away. It takes 1 or 2 days to approve. We are using now Thomson Reuters in order to avoid people with shady background to start companies. That's very important for us. So if you have a criminal record somewhere, you don't want to be applying. But if you don't, I think it's a great way to support the country and also get your business going. And then of course, now we've got, for example, WB21 Bank, which already supports Liberland jurisdiction. We've got bank in Liechtenstein, depends on what size of business you want to do. But I can tell you these are one of the best banks that are on the planet right now, and that they decided to recognize Liberland and support it.
That's amazing. I'll be getting a corporation and a bank account immediately after this interview, because it's kind of hard to get in other countries, and they have all sorts of and very few countries now are actually sort of tax-free countries. And of course, Liberland, I'm pretty sure, unless something changes.
We've got a voluntary tax system. And let me just elaborate on that a little bit more. So whenever you pay taxes, you receive the shares of the country that you're living in. And those taxes basically work as a collateral. So if you do something bad, we have a way to kind of punish you, because we take the taxes that you have paid and we basically fix the problem for you. But you will lose that reputation, and I think it's a pretty smart way how to do things. It's a result of us talking about how we want to run our society, and anybody would be able to check how much taxes you have paid in Liberland. That also means how big reputation you have, how big collateral is there against you in our jurisdiction, and that way we want to really make sure that the people, when they do business in Liberland, they do a good business, not a bad business.
Very interesting. Totally new approach on it. Voluntary, but it will serve as some sort of reputation or collateral.
And plus shares, right? So whenever we start to issue dividends, we might have this universal income actually coming up from the fact that you are a shareholder of the country that you're living in. And of course, I think it might be pretty exciting. Like the land around Liberland is, let's say, $1 now. And can you imagine when we really start to build there, it might be $10,000, $20,000 a square meter. So it will be an exciting time also for the shareholders of that corporation.
Wow, that's it's all of it's so fascinating and so interesting. We need to talk more often, because every time I talk to you, you've done 10 or 20 new things that are so exciting. What are you up to personally? I know you travel around a lot. What's your schedule like for the? Well,
that was great time in Alec. I just came from Denver. It's a pretty big meeting of congressmen and senators from different states. They gave me the keynote speech, which was great. I was able to address all of them, and they gave me a standing ovation, which was pretty exciting. And I hope we will get a couple of states in US recognize Liberland just through that event alone. And I'm heading to San Francisco now to discuss that system of registration of companies and other things on blockchain. And from that, I'm heading to Washington. I hope to be able to meet somebody from Whitehouse hopefully next week, and we are already having 3 interesting meetings scheduled with congressmen from US. So this is an exciting time. We need to stir up more support from US. Of course, this is where the diplomacy is made.
Yeah, absolutely. So interesting, so fascinating. We'll definitely be following it here on your progress. For people, if you mentioned they could sign up to get on your email list. Is there any other way that people can follow what's going on with Liberland?
Well, of course, Facebook is probably the most updated source. Twitter is also working. email is probably the best way how to get updates once in a while from us. And of course, the best is to come and see it on the ground. It's great fun in Liberland. We will have a couple of jet ski as well. People could do some jet boarding, and a lot of fun will be around in Liberland, even this summer. And I think it's a great way to spend your vacation.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll probably be in Europe in the next few months, so I'll definitely be trying to drop by. I've never been there yet, and I'm a citizen apparently, from what I
heard. And we've got all your documents and your diplomatic passport, because I'm so happy that you also help us on that level.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, it's awesome. I can't wait to see my homeland for the first time. I obviously support it tremendously. So for everyone out there, check it out, especially anarchists, of course. Like, this is our dream come true that it's trying to build there. And of course, a lot of people say, well, it's still a country and, all this sort of stuff. Yeah, they got to do some certain things in this world today, unfortunately. But as you pointed out, it's the very bare basic minimum state as you can make it, and you're even working on the three things that you mentioned. You're trying to make those even as privatized as possible.
Of course, and I think that's the future, right? You just click on your phone and anybody can sign up around you to be policemen as long as they receive a good reputation and they can help you secure your private property. And I think that's going to be working. This kind of thing needs some kind of central, at least a little bit of management, right? So we don't have private security agencies fighting each other. But I think just with a little bit of, regulation on that sphere, we can get it privatized.
That's great. Yeah, it'd be so fascinating. That's what a lot of people say. Can this stuff be privatized? Maybe we'll see a lot of these, the first examples of them really working in real life in Liberland. And I'm sure they'll work much better than any government's, sort of centralized solution. So that will really sort of, end up changing the world, hopefully. So Liberland is just amazing to me. I'm so happy to be a citizen of it. And as the only citizenship I care about, I couldn't care less about my other passports. It's the only one that matters to me. And so is there anything else? I have to run, you have to run, we're both incredibly busy, but is there anything that you wanted to mention that we haven't talked about?
Well, it's a great time to be libertarian these days. There's so many things happening. I think all of your listeners already got onto crypto. I think we will see a great new way up right now. The switch of a paradigm is happening right now. And, again, it's not just about the money, it's about establishing companies, it's about establishing new countries, and maybe it's the time you think about starting your own new country.
Yeah, absolutely. It is exciting times to be a libertarian. We're here at Freedom Fest, of course, and it is interesting. There's so much going on. Of course, the cryptocurrencies have changed the world of money and banking. We don't need central banks anymore. We never really did need them, but we definitely don't need them with cryptocurrencies. And all these things going on with, as you mentioned, privatization, Uberizing of so many things. As you mentioned, pretty much everything can just be on your phone now. It doesn't have to be a centralized, violent entity that controls it all. So it is beautiful time. So definitely check out Liberland. I'll try to drop by, hopefully sometime in the next few months, and see my homeland for the first time.
Wonderful. Right. Jeff, it's great to have you on board.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So that's it for Anarchast. Please share this video, like, subscribe, share down below, especially with anyone looking for any kind of freedom in the world, because Liberland is one of the definite places to go. And we'll have the links to everything that Vit mentioned down below. And that's it for Anarchast, your home for anarchy on the internet. Peace, love, and anarchy.
From Acapulco, Mexico, this is Anarchast.